Tonight I'm going to be leading you through a Pigeon to Locust flow. This is going to be a little bit of a workout. It's going to be a little bit strenuous, but each of these poses are designed to help with arthritis, especially in our wrists, and so we just want to be very careful, taking it easy. We're going to do a lot of modifications and just trying to figure out where our body needs to be and where it's comfortable and how we get it to loosen up a little bit. So for this sequence, you'll just want to make sure that you have like a blanket, a bolster, something to support your body, a couple blocks, and your mat. So we'll go ahead and come into, we're going to lie down on our side. So just taking a couple moments and getting into that position. You'll want to stretch out one arm out to the side, extending both legs. And what you'll want to do is kind of rest your ear on your shoulder, taking your other hand to your side and just balancing here. Sometimes this in itself can just be enough, and that's great. For modifications and for some support here, you can take your bolster. I tend to lean forward, so I want to keep something in front of me that's going to help me to stay balanced. If you need to, you can also have something behind you, or maybe in front and behind. So taking an inhale, you just slowly want to raise up your leg and your arm on both sides and lowering back down. Raising back up on an inhale and coming back down on an exhale. So you'll practice this sequence on both sides. You can practice everything on the left and switching to the right, or you can do the same pose left and right and then moving to the next. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next Asana, again practicing on the right side. So for Locust pose, coming from our side stretch, you can just simply place your hand out in front of you and roll over to your stomach. There's a couple options for this Asana here in Locust pose. So you can have your arms out to the side, or you can have them stretched out in front of you. You can make this a little heat building sequence if you like, and move from the back to the front with your arms. So we'll go ahead and practice arms in the back. So you'll want to take your chin rested on your mat with your gaze forward. Exhale, letting all the breath go. And on an inhale, just lifting up. Exhale, lowering back down. If your arms are outstretched, again, keeping your chin on the mat. Exhale, letting all the air go. On an inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering. For strength building, you can practice holding those poses for a couple breaths. Just be careful of your low back, any strenuous activity. Just want to be very careful with your body. Just being patient and always coming back into your breath. Another modification for Locust you can do that's also going to help with arthritis is you can take and roll over. And what you'll want to do underneath, so I can show you how you should be laying down, is having your pinkies together. So your hands will be like this and just laying them out in front. So they should be like underneath of your thighs, almost like your pelvis area. And what you want to do when you're in this position, you can just lay here feeling that pressure on your forearms and your wrists. And similar to Locust pose, Once you get into the pose, you can take a deep exhale and just let all the breath go. And on an inhale, just slightly lift and lowering back down on an exhale. Inhale, lift, exhale, down. Lifting up in the pelvis area and just releasing your hands. Moving into the next pose, placing your hands underneath of your shoulders and propping yourself up into tabletop. From this pose, we're going to take a modified version, extending out our back leg. And when we bring it forward, you want to bring your knee to your wrist. So again, we'll do this on the left and the right side. A couple places for support here. I like to use a block underneath of my hip just because it gives me a little bit more support. Again, just finding that place, making adjustments here. You can take a bolster or a blanket, whatever you have, and just keeping it, and you can put it either way. You can take it parallel to the front of your mat or to the side, matching the length of your body. But for pigeon pose, we just want to have our front leg extended, bent at the knee, and playing at the angle with the bent knee as well. If you have a little bit more range and you can keep your foot out almost at a 90-degree angle, that's great. You just want to make sure that you're comfortable and you're not over stretching yourself or making yourself uncomfortable. A good key for yoga is if it hurts, you need to back out. Just make minor adjustments, get out of that pose, maybe using blocks or bolsters or just a different position. Pigeon is it can be a tough pose to get into and out of, so just making sure that you're comfortable wherever you are and always coming back into your breath. So from here, once you have your front leg and your back leg in position, you can grab your bolster, and for a forward fold, you just want to slowly lower your hands, walking them out towards the end of your mat, eventually resting on your forearms. If it feels good and you have the support of a bolster or your blocks, whatever you need, you can come as far down as you can, maybe using a block here to rest your forehead on if you can't get all the way down to the mat. Resting here for a few minutes, moments, couple breaths, whatever you're comfortable with. And when you're ready, on an inhale, you can slowly start to walk yourself back up, removing any blocks or bolsters. To get out of pigeon, I like to prop up my back foot with my toes, slightly lifting like you're coming into a low lunge, removing the block, and bringing your knee on the other side to meet the other, coming into a seated position.